I need to tell someone what's happening to me before I lose track of who I am. 3 weeks ago, I came home to find my apartment exactly how I left it. Exactly, except the milk was in a different spot in the fridge. Not tipped over, not empty, just moved. From the left side to the right side. I live alone. I've always lived alone. I stood there staring at that carton for a full minute, telling myself I was misremembering. But then it happened again. I'm the kind of person who notices things, small things, the angle of my coffee mug on the counter, which way my toothbrush faces in the holder. It's not OCD, it's just how I'm wired. My therapist used to call it hypervigilance, a leftover from childhood. I call it paying attention. So when my running shoes were by the door instead of in the closet, I noticed. When my bedroom curtains were open a crack when I always keep them closed, I noticed. When the thermostat was set to 71 degrees instead of 70, I noticed. I started keeping a list on my phone. Little discrepancies. Things that were wrong but not wrong enough to report. What would I even say? Officer, someone broke in and just adjusted my temperature, but here's what made my stomach drop. One morning, I woke up and my alarm hadn't gone off. I was late for work. I grabbed my phone and saw that someone had turned it off. Not snoozed, off. And when I opened my alarm app, there was a new alarm set for 3:17 a.m., a time I'd never use. It was labeled, "You're still asleep." I changed my locks that day. I told the landlord someone might have a copy of my key. He looked at me like I was paranoid, but he changed them anyway. New locks, new keys, only 2 copies, both mine. I felt better for exactly 4 days. On the 5th day, I came home from work and stopped in the doorway. My coat was on the couch. I never leave my coat on the couch, never. I always hang it up. It's automatic, like breathing. But there it was, draped over the armrest, exactly the way I would put it if I was exhausted and didn't care, but I hadn't been home yet. I checked every room, every closet, under the bed, behind the shower curtain. Nothing, no one. The windows were locked from the inside. The door had been locked when I came in. I told myself I was losing my mind. That's what I wanted to believe. Then I found the journal. I don't keep a journal. I never have. But there it was, sitting on my nightstand, a plain black notebook, the kind you can buy anywhere. I picked it up with shaking hands and opened it. The handwriting was mine. Not similar, not close. Mine, the same slant, the same pressure, the same little loop I make on my lowercase g's. The entries were dated. They started 2 weeks ago. Woke up at 6:15. Coffee, toast, took the bus to work. Came home, watched TV until 11. Bed. It was my routine, my exact routine. But I hadn't written it. I flipped through the pages. Every single day was documented. What I ate, what I wore, what time I went to bed, small observations, mundane details, things only I would know. And then I got to yesterday's entry. She's starting to notice. I need to be more careful. I didn't sleep that night. I sat in my living room with every light on, holding a kitchen knife, watching the door. Nothing happened, no sounds, no movement. At some point, the sun came up and I felt ridiculous. I went to work like normal. I didn't tell anyone. What would I say? But when I came home that evening, the journal was gone. In its place was a note, written on a torn piece of paper in that same handwriting. Grammar soon runs, brand the nurture, brand the night, brand the nurse. You weren't supposed to find that yet. I started recording everything. I set up my phone to record video while I was gone. I hid it on a bookshelf, angled toward the door. If someone was coming in, I'd have proof. The first day, nothing. The second day, nothing. The third day, the camera had been moved, not turned off, not deleted, just repositioned. It was now facing the wall, and when I checked the footage, there was an 8-minute gap where the screen went black. But I could hear something. Footsteps. Slow, deliberate, walking through my apartment, opening drawers, running water in the sink, and then humming, quiet, tuneless humming. It sounded like me when I'm alone and not thinking about it. I went to the police. They took a report. They said they'd increase patrols in my area. They asked if I had any enemies, any ex-boyfriends, anyone who might want to mess with me. I said no. They asked if I'd been feeling stressed lately. I said yes, but not like that. One officer, older, with kind eyes, pulled me aside. "Do you live alone?" he asked. "Yes." "Any history of sleepwalking?" I felt my face go hot. "You think I'm doing this to myself?" He didn't answer directly. He just said, "Sometimes our minds play tricks on us, especially when we're under pressure." I left. I didn't believe him, but that night I started to wonder. I decided to test it. Before bed, I put a piece of clear tape across my apartment door. Low and hidden, if someone opened it, the tape would break. If I was sleepwalking, I'd see it in the morning, intact. I also wrote a note to myself and hid it under my pillow. "If you don't remember writing this, you're asleep." Then I forced myself to sleep. When I woke up, the tape was broken. The note was gone, and there was a new one on my kitchen counter. "I'm not you, but I'm learning." That was 4 days ago. Since then, it's gotten worse. I've started finding evidence of a life I'm not living. Receipts in my bag for places I didn't go. A coffee cup in my sink with lipstick on the rim. My shade, my brand. A text thread on my phone with my best friend about plans I don't remember making. When I called her to ask, she got annoyed. "You literally suggested it yesterday," she said. "Are you okay?" I said I was fine, but I'm not, because here's the thing that's keeping me awake right now. Sitting in a 24-hour diner because I'm too afraid to go home. This morning I passed a mirror in my building's hallway. I saw my reflection walking toward me, but I was standing still. I don't know what to do. I don't know who to tell. I keep thinking about that journal entry. She's starting to notice, not I'm starting to notice. She, like I'm the one being observed, like I'm the intruder. And the worst part, I'm starting to lose time. Hours I can't account for. Gaps in my day where I'll be at work and then suddenly I'm home and I don't remember the commute. Or I'll be eating dinner and then I'll blink and it's 2 hours later and the dishes are already done. I've started wondering if the tape was a trick, if the journal was a warning, if maybe I'm not the original. Last night, I didn't go home. I stayed here, at this diner, writing this all down so there's a record, so someone knows. But a few minutes ago, the waitress came by to refill my coffee. She looked at me, smiled, and said, "Rough night?" I nodded. She gestured to the notebook in front of me. "Working on something?" "Just writing things down," I said. She glanced at the page. Her smile faded. "That's weird," she said quietly.
What?
Someone else was sitting in this exact booth earlier tonight, writing in a notebook just like that. She paused, looked just like you. My blood went cold. When? Maybe 2 hours ago? I thought you'd left.
I stared at her. She stared back.
Then she said, very carefully, "Are you sure you just got here?" "I don't know if I am. I don't know anything anymore. But I do know this. When I looked down at the notebook just now, there were 2 pages I didn't write. They were in my handwriting, and they said, "It's easier if you stop fighting. I'll take care of everything.